Hello and welcome. This is the Saturday News at Noon. I'm your host, Keith Lander. Welcome and thank you. Appreciate all the last comments that I received. I try to answer them all, most of them. And share the show. We got a subscribe button. You can hit like or subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down, whichever way you want. Whichever way you want the thumb to go, just send it to me. Let me know you're watching the show and show the show. This is local news and national news. It's accurate news. And of course, I will chime in on some of these local stories with my own opinion. So let's start with the local story. Sugar Creek Township. This is a scam alert. Scammers are hot, y'all. The scammers are heating up like the temperature. So this is out of Sugar Creek Township Police Department issue warnings about phone scam. The Sugar Creek Township Police Department has issued a warning about a recent phone scam targeting the community. He said the police department says it took a report on March 31st, 2022 in reference to a person impersonating a Montgomery County deputy sheriff over the phone. The scammer advised he was with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office and also provided a spoofing phone number. Of course, I've let you know what spoofing is. That's the number where they take it, look like it's coming from the actual police department, and it's not. And it stated that the recipients failed to appear for subpoena or jury duty, and now they needed to pay either a fine or bail by failing to appear. According to the police department, the scammers also stated that failure to comply will result in immediate arrest. The Sugar Creek Township Police Department says it would like to remind the public that this scam and that bail is never requested over the phone, use of gift cards, or electronically transferred money by using a cash app. And so if you get one of these calls talking about you didn't get to jury duty and you got warrants out for your arrest and all this stuff, and they want you to send money, hang up. Don't even reply. And according to the Sugar Creek Township Police Department, if you do get scammed by one of these calls, they offer a number that you can call and report. It's 937-848-6161. I think I'll put that on the screen. That's the Sugar Creek Township Police Department, which is 937-848-6161. So I want everybody to be safe so you don't get your bank account all screwed up with these scammers out there trying to get your money. So be on the lookout and pass the word, because if it's happening in Sugar Creek Township, I guarantee you it'll be happening around in the Dayton area and other areas soon as possible. I can guarantee you that. Other local story, Dayton to spend millions on residential roads repaving. And this is out of the Dayton Daily News. Dayton expects to repave far more miles of residential streets than last year. Now, Dayton has invested more than $37 million in residential street resurfacing since 2017, said Dayton City Manager Shelley Dickstein. So Dayton has repaved about 66 lane miles of roadway since 2022 and 57 in 2020, according to Fred Stovall, who is Dayton's Director of Public Works. The city expects to resurface about 93 miles this year, he also said. Now, the areas that they're going to be hitting, they have a matrix that they use to try to cover these roads. And what they'll be doing this year, this summer, you'll see them out there, is the areas of McFarland, Santa Clara, University Road, Wolf Creek, and Fairview. And so you'll see the road crews out there this summer. Just slow down a bit, because I know they kind of block the road. Just slow down, you'll get past. They're resurfacing the roads, and they also going to do some alleys too. And you can find a list of all these projects that will be resurfacing if you go to the Dayton Daily News site and just type in Dayton to spend millions on residential roads repaving. And you can search that list. Is by Corey Follick, is the reporter who wrote that article. So that's a good thing. And that's your tax dollars going to work. You can see them right in progress. Another article that out of the Dayton Daily News. It's immigrants add $1.9 billion to local GDP. I'm gonna say that again. See, a lot of people get these stereotypes about immigrants coming to this country and they ain't working, they ain't doing this, they ain't doing that, trying to game the system. Let me repeat that headline again. Immigrants add 1.9 billion to local GDP. That's right here in this area, folks. This article is a report that was done on Montgomery County, and it shed lights that the population of immigrants in this Montgomery County is contributing big time. And the report released this month by the New American Economy provides a snapshot of immigrants in Montgomery County and Dayton in 2019 and their contributions to the economy. The researchers used data from the American Community Survey and other sources. Now, I'll give you a breakdown of some of these numbers. It's 25,400 immigrants or naturalized citizens or non-citizens lives in Montgomery County in 2019, which makes up about 4.8% of the county's population. 6,900 immigrants living in Dayton, 4.9% of the city's population. There's 2,000 refugees and 5,400 undocumented immigrants. Now, the 1.9 billion immigrants contribute to the county's GDP. 1,100 immigrants, entrepreneurs, generate 38.9 million in business income for the county. I'm going to repeat that one again. 1,100 immigrant entrepreneurs generated 38.9 million in business income for Montgomery County. 7.1% of the county business owners were immigrants. 38.5% of the immigrants in the county has a bachelor's degree or higher, compared to 27.2% of U.S.-born residents. So when we talk about immigrants coming to this country and coming to this area, Montgomery County and city of Dayton, they ain't coming begging. They coming contributing. And so we got to understand some folks. Immigrants come here, they make this country a place better than where they left. And so all this notion, all these stereotypes about these immigrants coming out, we don't want them immigrants coming. I tell you what, I wish I could throw some of these people born in this country out, but that's another story. These immigrants are contributing, folks, and this study lends itself to that notion that they are contributing in big numbers. So the next time you see a report talking about immigrants in this area, they ain't doing, refer these people to this report with some facts instead of somebody's misguided opinion of what immigrants do and how they do, because the ones here in Montgomery County, they're contributing big time. So I just wanted to bring that up. And I wish somebody would get a hold of the study. It's not hard to find. I'll give you the name of the study again. It's the New American Economy. That was the name of the study. They released that. So you can go find it and you can go read it for yourselves. And you don't have to rely on some talking head telling you about how bad immigrants are. Got it? All right. We're going to move on. I stated the last show that there was going to be a debate for the Senate Republican candidates and a debate for the Democratic Senate candidates at Central State. And there was that debate took place. And I'll give you some of the highlights of this debate. It says, Dolan is the only Republican running for the U.S. Senate who says 2020 election was not stolen from Trump. 5 Republican candidates for the U.S. Senate said outright that the 2020 presidential election was stolen, and the 6th said there were irregularities when asked during the debate in Greene County. That was the one at Central State, folks. This Josh Mandel, he claims that the election was stolen from Donald Trump. That was his statement. There's Mike Gibbs, there's Neil Patel, there's Mark Padaka from Dublin, J.D. Vance. Look, folks, let me let you in on something. The 2020 election was not stolen from Donald Trump. There's no proof, no basis, no ounce of evidence to prove that. There were 60 lawsuits filed in federal court by Donald Trump's folks trying to prove the election was stolen. They all got thrown out, people. there's no proof of widespread voter fraud to change the election. And according to this Jane Timken, she come talking about there's irregularities. Let me let you in on something there, Ms. Timkins. There's irregularities in every election. The irregularities do not add up to voter fraud and do not add up to any kind of stolen election. I bring this up because it's important, folks. One of these people going to get elected and run for that Senate seat, the one that Rod Portman is leaving on the Republican side. If these people don't have better judgment to come out and tell the truth about the 2020 election, if they want to say the election was stolen without any evidence, these people got a judgment issue, and also they got a truth issue because there's no truth in that statement. And so the bottom line is, why we want to send people to Washington who believes a lie, repeats a lie, and don't have better judgment to say, hey, I'm not going to repeat this because it's a lie. The only one had some sense was this guy named Dolan who said, hey, I ain't going along with that. The election wasn't stolen from Donald Trump. We have to be careful about who we send to these places to represent and be a legislator, because they're going to be legislating on some crucial issues, and they don't have better judgment than to repeat a lie that's been debunked by almost everybody, even federal judges that was appointed by Donald Trump threw the cases out. So come on, folks, we got to do better than this. Matt Dolan is the only one. He said he was the only one who said he do not believe the election was stolen. He was the only one. And let me say this about this Josh Mandel.
Critical race theory is crap.
Martin Luther King marched right here, so skin color wouldn't matter.
I didn't do 2 tours in Anbar province, fighting alongside Marines of every color, to come home and be called a racist. There's nothing racist about stopping critical race theory and loving America.
These people are running ads, and he's not the only one. Josh Mandel and a few of them. They're running ads that says they won't have critical race theory taught in the schools. I got news flash for you. Critical race theory is not taught in the schools, in public schools here. It's not taught from K through 12. Critical race theory is a college course, all right? It's not taught in the schools. If it is taught in school, somebody send me the school name and where it's taught, because it's not taught in any school, basically here in the state of Ohio. So they trying to get rid of critical race theory, and it's not even taught. Now, if these people are complaining about the history of some of these white folks, what they did throughout history, if they don't want that taught, how, the slave trade, how you treated Native Americans, how you treated black military men in uniform, coming back from fighting for this country, and then the stories were reported pulling the men out of buses and beating them up and lynching them in uniform. Now, if that embarrasses you, then that's your problem. But that's history, all right? You can't pick and choose which history you want to be taught. History and critical race theory is 2 different things, all right? And so this Josh Mandel, with this commercial he has the nerve to even invoke Dr. King walking across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, right? Josh Mandel, I ain't seen you supporting anything that Dr. King supported. I ain't even seen you at an MLK event, Josh Mandel. So what I'm saying is, folks, we got to hold these people accountable because they're showing you who they are. They're showing you they are deceitful. They're showing you they are liars. And they're showing you that they don't basically care about the constituents to which they're representing. The only person they're trying to please is Donald Trump, and he's not even in office. A judge blocks Florida racist voting law in a blistering ruling. Now, a federal judge permanently blocked Florida's new voter suppression laws from going into effect. The blistering ruling said that the bill unfairly and unconstitutionally violates minorities' voting rights. U.S. District Judge Mark Walker blocked 3 major components of a sweeping bill going into effect because they suppress black voters. So, you got that, folks? When we were talking about this voter suppression, and we were saying the reason why they trying to lower the numbers or suppress the black folks from voting, federal judge just blocked it all down in Florida. All right? I ain't making this stuff up, people. Not making this stuff up. So, the bottom line is, we know the reason why these voter suppression laws are coming up. Because those people who sponsor these voter suppressing laws are trying to lessen the vote coming from black and brown folk because they know they lost election when black folks turn out in record number, black and brown people. Now they got to try to lower that number of voting, right? And so they come with these voting suppression laws, and this federal judge just wasn't having this nonsense in Florida. Y'all can look that up if you will. Let me say this about the Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. She will be voted in to the Supreme Court. She will make history as the first African-American woman to sit on the Supreme Court. Let me tell y'all something about folk. We hear all the time folks say, work hard, Judge Jackson did that. Get educated, Judge Jackson did that. Pull yourself up by your bootstrap, Judge Jackson did that. Judge Jackson did everything that America says needed to be done to be successful, right? But then when she goes to her confirmation hearing, and you get these senators, Lindsey Graham for number one, I'm going to highlight him for number one, I'll get to the rest of them in a minute, who have the nerve to, when he's talking to Judge Jackson and asking her question, have the nerve to have his finger pointed. He didn't do that with Amy Coney Barrett. Huh? And this Lindsey Graham, he voted for Judge Jackson for the federal appeals court. Now, when she reaching to Supreme Court, he votes no. This is the same Lindsey Graham who said Donald Trump was ignorant, Donald Trump was a racist, and then he flipped over and said, oh, I like Donald Trump, I agree with Donald Trump, I'm rolling with Donald Trump. These are the type of people we got trying to make laws. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson was more qualified than probably, I know, Matt Kavanaugh, and also that Amy Coney Barrett. And yet, these senators, they didn't ask her any of these kind of questions that they did Judge Jackson. But let me tell you something. Judge Jackson, she set the bar with intelligence, with class, with decency, and with some good sense. And these folks trying to question her, trying to poke into her record, they didn't exemplify any of that. None. None of it. So she will be confirmed, and I don't know when the swearing-in ceremony is going to be, but I'll definitely be watching, and I may even shed a tear or two, because this is history, folks. This is the first. And President Biden said on the campaign trail, if he ever have a chance, he will nominate a black woman. All right? Nobody said anything when Bush said he was going to nominate black man Clarence Thomas. They said, oh, yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good for the country. See, folks, let me say something. Black folk know we got to work twice as hard. Black folks know we got to be 3 times overly qualified, got to be 4, 5 degrees. We have to have long hours in the profession that we're in, even just to get a chance at leveling the playing field, right? President Biden seen the qualifications of Judge Jackson, and he said not only Judge Jackson, but also he had some other black women that were qualified also with the education, with the skills, the knowledge, the history, the intelligence to sit on that Supreme Court. See, black folks, we don't want nothing handed to us. We want this opportunity. And when we get denied that opportunity, then we have to do what we have to do to get that opportunity. All right? We're talking about opportunity here. We ain't talking about nothing we ain't qualified for. We don't want nothing handed to us. I believe James Brown said, I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Open up the door and I get it myself. I am the opinion if the door is locked, I'm kicking the door in and getting it. Because that's how aggressive I want it. We will not be denied, people. This country, we're not going backwards. We ain't going backwards. We ain't going back to the days where black folks sit on the back of the bus. We ain't going back to the days where black folks had to sit up in the balcony. We ain't going back to the days where you had white fountain, black fountain. We ain't going back to those days. Some folks want to drag us back to those days. Where if you was white, you're right, and if you was black, get back. And they say if you're brown, you can stick around, but not too long. So, I want to bring that up. I appreciate President Biden for nominating Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to a historic event. Now, let me show you how history works. History has provided us with the first black president, President Barack Obama, the first black female vice president, Kamala Harris. Now we have a first black Supreme Court justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson. We're witness history, folks. History is being made. And it's being made because we did the work to get there and be qualified for these jobs. We did the work, folks. And we're going to continue to do it. Because that's what this country is supposed to be all about. That's what they tell us. Get your education. Work hard. We've done all that. And then yet we still get folks like those senators hollering and screaming about some nonsense, trying to prevent history from taking place. We will remember at the ballot box. I can guarantee you that. The ballot box is where we make our changes. We ain't gonna do like them fools who stormed the Capitol. That's ignorant. Them fools who stormed the Capitol, I don't know what they're trying to hang Mike Pence. That's what they were chanting and all the other kind of nonsense. That's them Trump folks. You know what I mean? That's ignorance. We ain't gonna put ignorance on display. We'll let them put ignorance on display. And we'll sit back and watch their ignorance. Got it? Let me also say about President Biden. He put out his budget. And I know sometimes folks were talking about, Joe Biden, he wanted to defund the police. He wanted to defund the police. Shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. In his budget, Joe Biden made it clear where he stands as in his State of the Union address when he said, we shall all agree, the answer is not defund the police. It's to fund the police. Fund them with the resources and training. That was at the State of the Union, folks. Now, what he did with his budget, he proposed more than $32 billion in new spending to fight crime. He also, there's $20.6 billion for the next fiscal year for the Department of Justice spending. Also, spending for federal law enforcement, crime prevention, and intervention. The budget also outlines spending measures to be dispensed on some other areas, and I'll get down to those in a minute. It would more than double the funding for community policing through the COPS hiring program. It would also add $500 million for the community violence intervention. It would also pay for 300 new deputies, marshals, or related personnel. It will also pay for 140 barrel alcohol, tobacco, and firearm explosive agents and investigative work on gun trafficking. And so, it would also increase funds for law enforcement agencies to trace firearms at a crime scene. So, all you Republicans out there who want to talk about Joe Biden hadn't put any money into his budget for the police, it's in the budget. Let's see how many of y'all gonna latch on to it. Let's see how many folks want to really support the police, because Joe Biden budget supports them. Let's see if any of those Republicans support that piece of budget measure. And I can guarantee you won't get not one Republican that support this policing budget in President Biden's budget. They all gonna run like scolded dogs or make some kind of old crazy excuse. They don't support the police, folks. If they would support that in this budget and let it be. You got it? Okay, here's an important piece that I want to say. The Supreme Court allows defendants to sue police when charges are dropped. Now, the ruling stems from a New York case where Larry Thompson was falsely accused of abusing a newborn. The Supreme Court has made it easier for people to sue police for wrongful arrest. Now, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 vote, ruled that the victims who are charged after false arrest or due to fabricated evidence can take legal action through the Fourth Amendment lawsuit under civil rights laws, as reported by NBC News. The High Court said the plaintiffs need not to have been found innocent in a case or acquitted to hold the police accountable for being reckless. Now, some of you civil rights groups, y'all need to pay attention to this. The case has been set. Supreme Court has set the case, and that Larry Thompson was the one who filed the suit because he was falsely accused. So, as a matter of fact, Justice Brett Kavanaugh even sided with Larry Thompson. So, I just want to bring that up. Get that case law if you want to look at that, because you can sue the police if you are falsely arrested and the charges are dropped, according to the Supreme Court. So you don't hear some of this stuff over some of these news outlets. Now, lastly, I know what y'all talking. He ain't said nothing about Chris Rock and Will Smith. Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. Well, I am going to say it now. I saved that to last because it wasn't really all that important to me, but a lot of people like that. So, let me say this. Now, if y'all remember a movie with Sidney Poitier, In the Heat of the Night. No, that wasn't a movie. Yeah, that was a movie. Where Sidney Poitier was a police detective down in Mississippi. And he enters this home with this wealthy white man. And I'm going to let the video play. I think we got video of this slap. So I'm going to let the video play and I'll talk on the other side of the video. All right, so you saw what happened there, didn't you? The white man slapped Sidney Poitier, and Sidney Poitier immediately slapped him back, gave him a receipt. See, now, if Chris Rock would have handled it like that, I don't think we'd have had any more problems. See what I mean? So, was Will Smith wrong for going up there smacking that man? Of course. And he knows he was wrong. Man, he's been suspended from the Oscars for 10 years or whichever. But here's the bottom line, folks. Comedians talk about every person, every walk of life. They even talk about handicapped folk. They talk about, poor folks, rich folk. Comedians talk about a wide range of folks, and we all know that. Every comedian, they talk about people in attendance of one of the comedy shows. We all know that. So I don't know why this was any different. But, we have to be accountable for our actions. And if you do something stupid, like what Will Smith did, then he'll be held accountable. Because didn't look good. But I tell you what, if he'd have smacked me, I'd have did the same thing that Sidney Poitier did. I'd have smacked him right back. You can believe that. You will get a receipt for this slap. Here you one right back. Now, because you ain't going to lay hands on me and then just walk off like you some big bad man. Don't work that way. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. That slap of Sidney Poitier and Sidney Poitier slapping that white man back, yeah, that was pretty interesting. So, well, folks, I think I'm done. I know I'm done. Until next time, may God bless you and your family.